Hello guys, welcome to the day two of the semi-final of FTX Crypto Cup. And finally we have finalists for the final for tomorrow. I know I've said finals too many times in the intro, but let's look at the game, guys. Let's look at the games. It was a very tough battle today between all the four players. Let us start with Jan Nepomucci versus So Wesley. So the first game started with C4. Again, Jan didn't wanted to go, into the main lines with D4 or E4. He decided to try to, go a little bit on the side route, but there is a more chances, to catch your opponent there. क्योंकि वो इतना popular नहीं तो your opponent doesn't seem to, prepare that so much. C4, knight F6, knight C3, E5. This is basically reverse Sicilian. अभी E3. And now bishop b4 is the main move. And what Nepo did, it's not very popular here. Actually, यहाँ पे main move actually queen c2 है. And the game goes on with idea है कि when you take with the bishop, I can take with the queen. तो ये idea होता है यहाँ पे. Nepo played knight d5. And Wesley, of course, did the correct move e4. क्योंकि अभी knight को problem. Knight doesn't have too many good squares. I mean, it goes here. I'm just going to play h6. Or sorry, knight d5. I can even take this, or फिर ये queen g5 will be hanging. Or yeah, so Nepo went 91. Apparently, it was still part of his preparation. Castles, knight h3. Now already this is a new move. It's quite surprising, like in our days to come up with a new move on move 7. It's remarkable. But I'm not sure whether it's that great or I think it was meant to be to play in this rapid game, online rapid game, and that's about it. So knight h3, rook e8, knight f4 was played, and here b6. I don't know, b6. Computer doesn't like b6. I think knight d5 is somewhat preferable because after knight d5, I just play a5 and just keep the position. The problem with b6 is that white just took here and played b3, and now he's getting a very strong bishop on this diagonal which has no match. Now b3, you have to play d5, trying to activate in the center. C d5, bishop b2 first, dc4, bishop c4, and here uh, Wesley started playing too passively, I think. I mean, which paid off in the end because Nepo didn't found a killer blow. Should just play bishop b7 and try to play knight d5 and try to play normal chess. Even for bishop a6, directly knight bishop a6, knight a6 castles, and now queen e7. Now here, Nepo played f3, which is also looks quite interesting. But if you look at carefully this position, this knight is a little bit out of the game. So what move can we make to put it even on the side? And the move is a3, which controls this square, so the knight cannot come back to the game. What black can do now? I mean, he has to bring the knight back here because if he get to play b4, then the knight is completely out of the game. Knight c5, b4 anyway. Knight e6, because if knight e3, then we don't mind this position because this bishop is so much more powerful than the knight. And the pawn in on d3 is actually doing a nice job for us, which is not letting black attack this pawn. And this itself is a big weakness. So uh, after b4, knight e6 is correct. And now simply knight e2 with the idea to go knight g3 and then later attack this pawn or maybe go f3 and open up everything. Knight g3, knight f5 is a huge threat. Combining with the bishop, on this diagonal, white has a big attack here. So a3 was preferable here, just to play against this knight on a6. Nepo went for f3, rook d8, fe4, knight e4. And yeah, all these moves, even fe4 is sort of playing into black's hand. Like, why to allow his knight to jump directly? I would actually prefer to play first queen e2, maybe rook d1, and prepare it, and then slowly playing fe4 and then open up the position. Nepo immediately played fe4, which is strange. Knight e4, d3, knight b4, and now already the position is quite severe. It's not easy to play as white. Yes, all these pins, along this file, both these pawns are quite weak. Uh, Nepo went for rook f3, but I think queen e2 was better. But it's not easy to find moves out of queen e2, knight c5 because ye mar raha hai, ye mar raha hai. So only way to protect both is probably to play d4. Okay, you cannot take it because this knight hangs. But yeah, once you play d4, I put my knight here and then say, okay, what have you done with your position? I'm going to play knight d5 on the next move and compared to two moves back. So, I mean, black is doing well anyway. And after rook f3, actually the problem was which Wesley didn't manage to find was just queen d6. This pin is very strong and it's not easy to, defend this pawn. Probably black is just simply much better here. Wesley played f6, which is decent, but the problem, I mean, decent in the sense that this is a nice construction against this bishop to, stop the range of this bishop. F6 was decent. And now after queen e2, knight has to go, knight g5, rook g3, and now knight is all these moves. Wesley started drift a little. Uh, he was playing too passively. Maybe if had he not won the match yesterday, probably he would have played differently. And yeah, I mean he wouldn't have gone so passive in his position. So knight h5 is coming, king h8, and now you just look at white pieces. I mean, for sure something should happen now. Okay, something on g7, something on f6. All white pieces are playing, so white should be much better. White is actually much better here. Rook f8 is forced, and now finally this pawn is hanging, so we just move it upwards, and there is not much black can do here. Black goes c5. I mean, what else? Just a3, knight d5, e4, attacking the knight. And here Wesley made a very interesting choice because if you just retreat with the knight, then this position is just dead. Like you're just dead. You have less space. Your structure is bad. So Wesley thought, okay, at least let me grab a pawn. फिर देखते हैं if we get mated, we get mated, but at least I'll have a pawn. And immediately, Nepo took here, which is sort of strange because he had many options. Like Queen D3 is one of them. For example, now I'm threatening this knight, and I'm also threatening this pawn. And if you remove the knight, I'm just going to play Rook G7, and now this is much better version than what Nepo got in the game, and this is just winning actually. Queen d3 only move for black was to play g6. The idea is if I take here, I take back your knight. It doesn't matter. We take knight anyway. Takes the point here is if rook d5, I can probably just take this check with check, rook f6 and queen d5, and there is no check on e3 because the rook is guarding it and white is just a rook up. So the move here is cd4. Now simply queen d4. So to be honest, it doesn't look like white is that much better because pawns are all equal. But just look at these pawns. And plus king is weak. So in the hindsight, when I've checked it, white is much better. Probably Nepo would have thought, okay, queen c5, like there is some chances to escape in the rook pawn endgame. But just take here and play rook d3. Black's position is really bad here. Like this pawn is going. Plus, all these three pawns are like it'll go sooner or later. So this was a massive miss, from Nepo. He just took it directly. And now after CD4, there is no win actually. Rook G7, D3 was a very strong move. Because it's not easy to move this queen anywhere. Let's say if you have queen E5, there is rook F5, which is a little bit annoying. And you don't actually want to play queen E8, put queen so passive down the road and, any other move. So D3 was a nice move. Decided to sidestep with queen F2, which is also pretty decent. And now queen E4, which sort of defends this pawn and saying, okay, show me the attack. And the point behind this is after rook e1, black has a beautiful move, which is knight e3. What is black points, guys? It's very instructive because let's see the line. Rook e3. Okay, white is just a piece up. No, black gives up a queen. Now white is a queen up. But after d2, there is no way to stop this queen. And it is white who somehow has to think about forcing a draw, which he does, of course, brilliantly. Is after rook h7, king h7, queen e7, not queen e7, sorry, knight f6 first, king g6, queen g3, and yeah, black. I mean, eventually it took the knight, but if king f7, queen g, I mean, this happened a couple of times, and eventually it took here, And now after queen f4, there is no escaping the king. Because the problem is whenever king comes to this side, I'm just going to take the pawn. And if king goes here, it's just, perpetual everywhere. So checks are not going away. So a decent draw in the end, but I think Nepo would be, ruining. He would be, this game should have been the game where he should have won because uh, missed opportunities from him, and at some point he was actually completely winning. So should have pushed harder, should have uh, gone for it, but unfortunately he didn't. And Wesley, kudos to Wesley who actually made a very nice save in the end. So now let us look at the third game of their match because again he was white and Nepo was white, and it was sort of a must-win game for him because if he draws this game, Wesley would have been white in the fourth game, and Wesley with white, like Wesley with any color, is very solid, and beating Wesley with black piece is going to be very difficult. So it was sort of all out for Nepo. So it was a very sharp line: d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, d5. Again, Wesley sticking to his gun, cd5, knight d5, e4, knight c3, bc3, c5, and now rook b1. The idea of rook b1 is that after a cd4, there is no longer bishop b4 check because I'm guarding this. So for the moment, rook b1. For the moment, there is no bishop b4 check, which means I don't have to play bishop d2 check. I mean, after bishop b4, I don't have to play bishop d2, and then black entered another piece. So in a way, rook b1 is useful also because it sees that b7 pawn is attacked, and it stops bishop b4, which means white gets to keep more pieces on them. So rook b1, bishop e7, knight f3, short castles, and now h4. This was first played by Karyakin, Rich Kramnik and candidates, and after that, it's been gaining a lot of popularity. b6, quite a normal move, but hasn't been played so many times actually. It's been only played like I can count it on my hand, so it's been played very few times. h5, h6 has to be played because you don't want this pawn to go to h6, so h6 yourself. And now I didn't really understand the concept, or maybe Nepo just is not very familiar with this setup. Goes for bishop d3, which is very strange. Normally, uh, you don't touch this bishop very soon. You want to play rook h3, rook g3, and then decide where to put this bishop. And you can see in the game, after bishop d3, cd4, cd4, knight c6, there is no good way to protect this. For example, if you go bishop e3 now, protect this, I'm just going to go bishop b7. And once again, there is no good way to, play against this knight b4, attacking the bishop because bishop cannot go here because e4 pawn sanctions. And once we get rid of this bishop, it's going to be very difficult for white to, have any sort of initiative. So Nepo decided to go back bishop e2, and there's my point. If you want to play bishop e2, you can play in one go rather than go bishop d3 and then come back. So bishop b7, rook h3. Again, white wants to create some sort of imbalance in the position. Rook c8, rook g3, threatening some bishop h6. So king h8 is forced. A3, again a very strange move, but I can understand, like, it's not easy to find moves, it's not easy to attack here because the problem is, like, let's after bishop e3, I think black can simply play knight before attacking this pawn. Once again, it's not easy to protect it. If a3, I can even play knight c2. This is attack, this is attack, this is attack. So attack is probably just better. Also, knight c2 is a check, so king has to move, and all these moves. So Nepo probably decided, to stop this knight for once and for all, and he goes for a3 and knight a5. And now finally Nepo can play bishop b3 because there is no knight b4 irritation because knight is on a5. Wesley goes knight c4, calm and collective. King f1 was played. Again, a very strange move because it was not needed. So Wesley goes knight d6, asking how do you defend this. Now comes the real mistake of the game, but probably it's hard to criticize Nepo because it's not easy to play this position. I think black is already slightly better. And when you're in a must-win situation as white and you don't have anything, then it's going to be always a little bit difficult, to confuse your opponent, especially player like Wesley who is super solid. So Nepo went for a bluff, which is d5, e5, bishop b2. Buying this pawn and trying to generate some counterplay using this rook and this bishop. But Wesley was very cool. He just played d4. The idea is after bishop g7, king g7, you sort of block this diagonal for the bishop because the pawn is here. And now black is simply winning. Bishop f8, bishop f8, rook g4. Nepo tried to confuse Wesley a bit, but it was to no avail. Queen d2, queen c7, queen f4, simply took the knight. Yeah, I managed to exchange almost everything now. And the problem for, yeah, probably here, Nepo would have realized, okay, draw would have been still decent because white or black, he still has to, win. I mean, Wesley still has to make another draw, another half point. But after this, uh, there is no way black is going to, Wesley is going to surrender this advantage. And he managed to convert it without any problem here. F5, rook e8, queen f7, this pawn is hanging, rook is hanging, queen e1. Probably here, if you take the pawn, then there might be some sort of perpetual with rook e7. Although I doubt it, but maybe there are some chances with this. But okay, Wesley being very careful, he gave check first, king h1, and now simply knight f3 because the queen is attacked, and queen cannot leave the first rank because there is queen g1 check, and after queen d1, queen f7, he just resigned because f8, sorry, e8 rook was hanging, and plus queen h5 check is there, and thus Wesley was the first semi-finalist to reach the finals, and kudos to him. Played a very solid chess. I don't remember him losing any game throughout this event, which is a commendable feat. And yeah, now let us look at the other match, which was also very interesting, guys. It was played between Magnus versus Rajabov. So this was the first game of their match today. It was played d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, h6. Again, a very rare move. H6 they don't usually play here. A6 I've seen many times, but H6 no. So H6, knight f3. Okay, Timur was playing normal chess. Knight f6, bishop f4, and bishop d6. Now Timur went for a really nice bishop g3. Again, guys, very important to remember. We should always exchange on our own terms. For example, here we don't mind, exchanging here because this opens up our rook. Whenever black castles, it's going to be very difficult for him to tolerate this g4, g5. So that's the bishop g3, castles e3. And now Magnus decided for c5, which is I think a little bit premature because after cd5, it's not easy to find, clear-cut option for black. In the game, bishop g3 was played, hg3, cd4 was again a. I mean, I'm commenting all this as a dubious, but I was not really sure because why knight d5 was not played. Felt quite natural to take with the knight. The point is, if you take here, I'm just going to take on c3. And my feeling is black should be able to equalize uh, because after queen d8, rook d8, bc, I can even play rook d5, but also knight d7. I don't really see what is going on. Maybe white has slightly better position, but I highly suspect that it could lead anywhere. So knight d5 for me was a better choice. d4 for played. Now after queen d4, the problem is you're left with this isolated pawn. For example, after knight d5, uh, I can also play long castle or rook d1, like long castle and rook d1, trying to pin this. But also I felt this move is quite decent. The point is after this, you're left with this weak pawn, which is always difficult to play. So in the game, ED5 was played because Magnus thought, okay, after knight c6, at least I'll get a time, get a tempo, and get some control over this d4 square. But Timur was very alert. When bishop b5, knight c7, and simply took castles. And I feel this position is already white is like slightly better, or maybe even more than slightly better. Uh, these pawns are quite weak. If you can prevent advancing of this pawn as white, then you are much better. Rook e8 was played, trying to get some sort of counterplay with knight e4. Rook c1 is normal, bishop g4, and here Timur started to drift a bit. 92 he played, but I find it is quite strange. Why to go 92? Ideally, you want to do something for this square on this square. So maybe just b3 to knight a4 next, because ideally I would want to play knight a4, पर अभी शायद rook e4 आके this queen has to move, then knight is attacked. So I thought first एक बार b3 खेल लेते हैं, knight a4 आएगा and we'll have big control over this square, और फिर धीरे धीरे we'll try to round up our pieces against this pawn. So b3 made a lot of sense to me. And knight e2 also has the same idea actually. The next move he wants to play knight a4, and he's stopping rook e4 because he has bought his knight to d2. But the problem now is that after queen b6, there are like a lot of dynamics in the game. So knight b3 भी खेलना force हो गया. Now Carlsen took queen d4, and to my amazement, Ahmed played knight d4, which is amazing. Like I cannot believe like the level of player he is. I mean the stature, like he's world top 10, he's everything, and he still मतलब उन्होंने ये ED4 कैसे नहीं मारा है? I mean I still find it very hard to believe. ED4 के बाद first of all you get the square, and there is just no counter play. For example अगर A5 खेलता है we just go F3, बिशप को हटाना होगा, बिशप F5 G4 खेल लो, बिशप G6 just simply knight C5, and the point is black has zero counterplay. This pawn will still remain weak. This pawn will still remain weak. We can slowly play king f2, try to start exchanging pieces one by one. And in a longer run, like black is going to suffer for very very long time. और 94 के बाद क्या गेम एकदम शिफ्ट हो गया, क्योंकि after c5 the game became very dynamic, and all of a sudden जो एडवांटेज था वाइट का सब चला गया, ऊपर से जो साइकोलॉजी थी कि दिस इज मतलब इस टाइप की पोजीशन खेल रहा था पहले वाइट के, वेयर ही हैड जीरो चांस टू लूज. अब पोजीशन हो गई कि अब कुछ भी हो सकता है, ही कैन लूज, ही कैन ड्रॉ, ही कैन विन. तो साइकोलॉजिकली इट वाज प्रॉब्ली डिफिकल्ट फॉर तैमूर टू एडजस्ट हियर. Even knight b3, rook b8, knight c5, rook b2, f3 here, g4, bishop g6, and here again rook e1. Like he started playing very passively. First of all, I have to tell you कि अभी rook e3 threat नहीं है, क्योंकि rook e3 को we can play knight d1, forking these two rooks. So if that is not the threat, we can do anything. Yeah, we can even play rook f2. We can play, I don't know, maybe knight b3. We can do, threatening rook f2 next move, and forcing this rook to take here. Then we can take with the king. This still, I feel white is little bit better, but the game should end in a draw. Rook e1, rook c8. Now already Carlsen senses it that his opponent is very passive, and maybe he wants to make a draw and get out of the game. So Carlsen is very good and at that he senses fear in Timur in this position. So he takes this opportunity. He goes rook c8. Now knight b3, bishop c2. Now everything is hanging. This is hanging. This is hanging. Timur managed to find the only move. Knight b5, rook a2, knight d4, a6, knight d6, rook d8. And after this four sequences of move, I believe black has taken over a bit because he can never lose. Plus, this pawn combining with this rook can be very tricky. So rook a1, rook a8, knight d4, a6. Okay, white side is pretty simple. He wants to bring his king, and what does black has in his store? Black also wants to bring his knight to c4, where it not only attacks this but also protects, once he plays a3. So again, not an easy position for white, especially with limited time. Temur tried to resist here, which was nice. He got e4 at least. But what is the problem, guys, with e4? That knight on d5 is not as solid as it was before when the pawn was on e3. But still, it was a draw here, like king e4, king f6, knight b5, rook a4. The final mistake was this. King e3 was still just a draw because black cannot really do anything. Agar rook a5 खेलते तो simply come back. And yeah, our idea is to slowly come here. I understand practically it is not easy for white to draw this, क्योंकि जब भी we'll start to bring our king, he'll also start to bring his king, and try to gobble up this pawn. But I think white will always have enough counterplay for that. But after king d5, rook a5, it's just lost. King f c5 forced a2. Now black का इतना अच्छा construction है, अगर if you go here, I'm going to give this check. सब support हो गया. अगर इधर which happened in the game, I'm going to give this check again. Everything is supported, not this arrow. अब प्रॉब्लम ये है कि अगर किंग C5 जाते हैं तो देर आर मेनी मूव्स, बट दिस इज प्रॉब्ली द सिंपलेस्ट, क्योंकि 9 को नॉर्मली दिस इज द ट्रिक फॉर वाइट। कैसे कभी होता है तो किंग B6 से हम पीस वापस मार सकते हैं, पर आफ्टर रुक D2 ये एंड गेम भी कंप्लीटली लॉस्ट है। फॉर एग्जांपल G3, आई कैन प्ले दिस, आई कैन सिंपली ब्रिंग द किंग इन। किंग कभी आ ही नहीं सकता, रुक कट ऑफ है, रुक यहाँ से हिल नहीं सकता, सिंपली किंग आएगा इधर भी आके सिंपली जीत जाएगा। किंग C4 खेला लास्ट मूव, फिर रुक A4 चेक, अगेन किंग को स्क्वायर नहीं, इधर जाओगे तो सॉरी इधर जाओगे तो सिंपली रुक B4 चेक, नाइट गोस। प्रॉब्ली किंग C3 खेल सकते थे अभी भी, आई एम स्टिल नॉट श्योर कि ये क्यों नहीं खेला। ये भी सिंपली नाइट A5 here, और अगेन इट इज नॉट इजी यू नो ब्लैक के लिए, सॉरी वाइट के लिए टू मेक अ मूव। किंग B2 आप जा नहीं सकते, रुक इधर आ रहा है, नाइट D4 आप ला नहीं सकते, रुक D4, फिर नाइट B3 फोक आ रहा है। डिफिकल्ट पोजीशन होती है, डिफिकल्ट पोजीशन थी। मे बी और भी कोई अच्छा ऑप्शन था इसके अलावा। मेरे ख्याल से इवन सिंपली किंग इधर, किंग F4 इज आल्सो क्वाइट डिसेंट। So yeah, I think probably king E5 is the simplest. क्योंकि king F4 आ रहा है, so you have to play G3. But once you play G3, I'm going to bring my king here. और knight कभी भी हिलेगा तो back we can always give this check. So there are many ways to play this position as black. And after king C5, knight A5, it's just lost because knight B3 is unstoppable. Knight D4 को simply we can take here. King D4 ये आ रहा है, and this is just resigns. So after having such a nice position, Timur managed to lose this game. But one has to give, you know, to him because second game उनका draw हो गया where Magnus was white pretty quickly. Now back to third game, Timur had, you know, again good chances here. Let's try to see where he missed his chances again. D4, knight F6, C4, E6, knight F3, D5, knight C3, C5. Now Carlsen is using the same trick of Wesley of going into this slightly worse endgame, पर sort of defendable क्योंकि you see half of the board is out of the board. तो जब ऐसा होता है तो you have to be very accurate with white, and I understand black से ना position खेलना easy नहीं है, क्योंकि you see you know position looks very disgusting, ये कैसा pawn structure है, white has two bishops, but still holds क्योंकि you are pawn up for a while, and simply because पीछे से नहीं रहेंगे बोर्ड पे तो क्या स्ट्रक्चर होगा, क्या बिशप्स होंगे, you know, that kind of a motive. Bishop G5 was played, and this was played by Radjabov many times before. Once against Carlsen himself. Bishop F6, G6, knight E4, Bishop G7, and here comes the first new move in their game. You know, Timur and Carlsen had this position long back, not long back, a month back also. Bishop D3 was played in that. No, Bishop D3 was not played, but this was played between Timur versus Wesley. I think last year. And F5, knight G3. This all happened in their game. Knight C6, rook E1, bishop E5. To be honest, F5 is sort of premature. I think knight D7 is clever because it stops first of all everything. I want to play knight E5, gaining a tempo in this bishop, and then फिर एक एक करके रुक आएंगे, then it's not that difficult to equalize. But after F5, knight G3, knight C6, rook E1, suddenly थोड़ा problem हो रहा है इस pawn को बचाने में. Like how do you defend it? Cannot play this. Just bishop C4 is quite decent. I'm just thinking if there is something else, but yeah, bishop C4 looks decent. Or if you cannot remove the king here, then where do you remove it? E6 pawn is also hanging. So bishop E5 is more or less forced, and after knight F5, F5, F4, white has some sort of a edge probably. It is not much better, but some. It's like with correct play, black will hold. But one more slightly, you know, dubious move, black is going to suffer, which happened in the game. F4, rook D8, Fe5, rook F8, rook E3. Now the first new move comes from Carlsen, rook D4, which is not a good one. Wesley had played rook D5, which actually is more to the point. ये pawn weak है, you try to attack it, and then eventually take it. So it is very surprising Carlsen went for rook d4. Bishop c2. Here Carlsen was probably a bit too relaxed. He thought कि चलो अब तो draw हो ही जाएगा. Takes, rook g8, g3, rook d8, king here, and king e6. Like when I saw king e6, I was like really surprised. कि how can he play like this? Because after bishop e3, you have to retreat. I mean, here's knight d4 would have simply given uh, black good drawing chances. For example, here you can just play, any move. Let's say you go bishop d1, like in the game. Then we play king e6, stopping this. If not, if you go bishop d3, we're simply going to play, rook d5, trying to, bring the king up, take this pawn. And it's not easy for, for white to fight this. So king e1, king e6, bishop b3. White is for sure slightly better now. Rook f3, again a very nice move. Knight d4, rook c3. And probably once Magnus took this, I believe, I know it is very, a committing thing to say, but I feel white is already winning. Because if you see rook b3, rook d7, the way Radjabu played was very instructive. Rook b3 he played. अब you have to decide कि कौन सी pawn आपको बढ़ानी है क्योंकि एक तो मरने वाली है. It doesn't matter actually. Carlsen played b6 and now simply rook c3. The idea is अभी rook c6 आ रहा है and the same way अगर rook a3 को a6 करते हैं same I'll play rook b3. अभी rook b6 आएगा. So whichever, I mean whatever the cases, ये pawn तो जाएगी फिर बाद में. So rook a3, b6, king e6, and now finally we are up a pawn. Carlsen was trying to defend, actively with all the checks. Rook e7, threatening all these sort of checks. a4, rook e3, king b5, rook e5. And the point is कि king a6 नहीं जा सकते, इधर आ रहा है. And in the game king c6 हुआ game में, but this is actually not a good move क्योंकि अभी rook e2 आ रहा था. And now after b4, I'll start giving you checks from the side. The point again is if you go here, I'm just going to go here, or फिर I'll take both the pawns. And if you go king b5, again the same thing. And here I'm going to do this. And these pawns fall. So this would have been easy draw. But it's hard to spot क्योंकि अभी ना king c6 only move नहीं है. When king c6, rook e4 ये repeat हुआ एक बार. And then Timur managed to find the correct way. Rook h8. Now the point is simply I'm going to play b3. King इधर लाऊंगा. And then slowly I'll try to bring up my king again. Rook a8 आऊंगा. Your rook will be passive and then king आएगा and slowly white will be able to win. So Carlsen went for desperate f4, gf4, rook e4, king a3, rook f4. And now Radchapu went for rook g8, which feels very nice. क्योंकि ना किंग को फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इधर या इधर नहीं आ सकता क्योंकि रुक चेक देके दिस किंग pawn is winning, and white feels very nice because at first you feel it feels like king has to go here or here क्योंकि इधर जाएंगे तो ये सब rook b8, rook a8, everything comes with a check. But actually this is the baddest mistake. Either any move is winning. Like even b3, black simply has no defense. You know how to defend both the pawns and stop this king. Uh, if you try to go here, I'm just going to slowly building, or even play rook b8. Now if you start checking me, there is no point because now this is protected. So I'll go here and this. Yeah, I did something wrong here. So it was not supposed to be this difficult. So here, and now, yeah, now it is not an easy win. So let me come back, guys. So here probably I'll just play first rook a8 and then bring my king in. Uh, looks simple enough now. Or there is another move which is simply defend this pawn, guys. Sorry, simply defend this pawn. Rook g3 is a threat because king has to go somewhere. Let's say if rook comes here, we simply play rook f3. cutting the king off, or even just simply king before. कि अभी a5 हो रहा है, so he has to play rook a5, rook c5 to stopping this, and now we go rook h4, rook c4. We are coming, and eventually, king is so far away. Eventually, white is going to win this. But अभी rook g in the game, क्या rook g8 looks very clever, but क्या हुआ after king f7 ना? Uh, rook b8 was supposed to be yeah, rook h4. And now the problem is कि अभी if we give a check and if we take it, black is not going to take the pawn first, because if he does that, rook a6 again will take this. But what he'll do, first he'll come here to d6. Now it is close enough to guard this pawn. And next moves he'll just take this pawn because white anyway cannot defend it. So just because of rook g8 check, everything got changed. And now Timur went for b3, king e6, check, rook e2, a5. Now it is just a dead draw because king is very near to the pawn. Rook is very active because it's attacking this pawn, and our rook is very passive. So yeah, I mean the players just agreed to a draw. Very bad miss from Timur, but hats off to him, for showing such tenacity, showing such resilience of fighting back, coming back into all these matches against Magnus. So hats off to him. But again, congratulations to both the finalists, Magnus versus Wesley. What a final is going to be tomorrow. So guys, stay tuned. I'll see you guys with the recap tomorrow. Bye bye.